So Bayern Munich we just won 2-0 versus PSG in the Champions League. I'll be going through some picture analysis and some of Julian Nagelsmann's tactics in this game, but I thought the tactics were perfect. It was pretty much a perfect performance. So let's just get right into it. This was the formation that Bayern used throughout the game. So it was Musiala in this left half space role, and he was so crucial in this role because it allows him to have slightly more space for his dribbles. It allows him to dribble and therefore propel the team forward. Davies was also crucial, both in attack, getting forward, but he was also able to get back in defence, and he really tracked back in defence and cut out a few very important blocks. I'll talk about that in the pictures. Kimmich and Goretzka were excellent. Yet again, Kimmich in this role, this number 6 role, as the pivots, really acting as the conductor for all of Bayern Munich's play. Goretzka so crucial, especially with his high press. I'll talk about it more, but the goal was so important that he pressed high, and Bayern's pressing throughout the game was intelligent, but especially in the second half, Bayern chose when to press, and there were a few moments where when Bayern really did press, then Muller would go, Goretzka would go, Coman would go, and this is how we suffocated them for Bayern's first goal. So very interesting tactics from Nagelsmann here. Also, Coman was excellent, beating his man. Stanisic was absolutely superb. He was unbelievable. He stayed really close to Mbappe, so it never let Mbappe have the proper play. But also the combination of Stanisic and Upamecano, say Stanisic was close to Mbappe, say Mbappe got past, then Upamecano would still be recovering. So that was the benefit of the back three sort of system that we used in this game, even if it was a bit of a four-back when we were defending, a bit like this, maybe. But when we were attacking, then it became into that three-back formation. But let's just get straight into these picture analysis that I want to talk about. So, firstly, it's important to talk about how Bayern won this game, and I think Bayern, a big part of our win of this game was the defensive structures, the defensive pressing that we used, especially on Mbappe and Messi. So let's talk about that. We crowded Messi. You see here, this was from a throw-in, to be fair, but you see how we have 3 players all around Messi, so we never let Messi the chance to play. We never let Messi the chance to break the lines, to play those chip balls, because whenever he got close to Messi, especially Thomas Muller was on him. So Muller throughout the game was all over the place. It was a vintage Raumdeuter performance for Muller. Yes, maybe he didn't get a goal or assist, but he was all over the place, pressing his socks off the whole game, and he stuck close to Messi quite often, just like in the Champions League final, he stuck close to Neymar. So it really nullified Messi's play, and the 3 players around here really stopped Messi from playing, so it was a really effective strategy. As for Mbappe, who was the clear threat and the threat of the first leg, we had Stanisic always really razor tight to Mbappe. But as I said, even if Stanisic was here and Mbappe was here and Mbappe gets past him, Upamecano still has the recovery pace to try and track back. So I think it was really effective strategy from Bayern, and they also didn't let Mbappe get the ball, so even if Mbappe gets the ball, it's fine. But you see here, when PSG had balls in these sort of areas, there's so many players, Bayern players, around these areas that it's hard to get the ball to Mbappe. Coman would also track back and help, especially nullify the pace of Mbappe or the pace of Nuno Mendes in this sort of area. So this was just the strategy. It was important to nullify Messi and Mbappe, but Bayern did it well with the pressing staying really tight to these players. I also want to talk about Davies. I mean, I talked about Stanisic, excellent. Upamecano, excellent. De Ligt, excellent. But Davies had 2 moments in the match where the ball was in this sort of area, crossed into the box, and Davies makes a last-ditch sliding tackle using his recovery pace, coming from that sort of left mid position all the way to like a left back into the centre back role. And he did this twice this game to great effect. Apologies. The first time he was stopping Messi from attacking, but this time he was stopping, I think it was Mbappe from attacking. So he was just tracking that inside run, and that meant the centre-backs could really focus on the one player who's there, while Davies was using his pace to help. Then let's also talk about the aggressive pressures, because in this game there were so many aggressive pressures. Here PSG, Bayern just lost the ball, PSG are playing out from the back in this sort of area, then PSG play a pass here. But you see here, even though Bayern have many players forward and out of the game, Kimmich realizes that he can aggressively pressure Messi, and then he does pressure Messi, then he passes the ball to Muller, and it creates a chance opportunity. So this was it. The Bayern midfielders would press really high. It wouldn't allow PSG to play out the back. They would have to play long, and therefore Bayern would recycle the ball back. So this aggressive pressing was the hallmark of our play, similar to the win versus Barcelona, and that's why this win, in fact, I think is one of the most impressive performances of the season, because we really suffocated PSG, especially second half. Here again, you see Thomas Muller pressing, and you see the high press of Bayern's players. And you see here, Thomas Muller cuts off the passing lane to Verratti here because of his movement, because of his body. This player then turns outwards, and Thomas Muller, even though he doesn't catch him, he keeps chasing him. This puts him under pressure. This defender, therefore, makes a questionable decision, maybe, to play Verratti in here. But at that point, by the time Muller's done chasing him and he's played it, Goretzka's already pushed forward, because when Bayern chose their moments to press selectively, but when they did have those moments, they really pressed hard. So Goretzka pressed right in here, right on Verratti, then Goretzka and Muller sandwiched Verratti, and that's not the type of sandwich you want to have in the Champions League. Muller gets the ball back, passes to Goretzka, Goretzka passes to Choupo, Choupo passes it into the back of the net, and that was Bayern's play, aggressive pressing, not letting PSG play out from the back. See, there's no options here, there's no passing options. They either have to play long, or they played to Verratti here, and they played to Verratti, but obviously it was a mistake, and it was high pressing. And also, a word on Goretzka. Goretzka was muscly, he was strong throughout the challenge, the whole game. Muller was pressing the whole game. That was such a crucial aspect of our victory. And yeah, this is what I said. Goretzka just reclaims the ball here, and the rest is history. And then now I'd also like to talk about some of our attacking things. So the pressing was excellent, and our defense of Mbappe, Messi, excellent. But Musiala in that half space, I think he had a game high, like 9-something dribbles or something. You see here, he's just skipped past his man, and it creates many passing opportunities. Nothing came of this chance, but if Musiala can get into this left half space, and as I said, he has more time, more space when Muller is in the center, and he's able to really roam in this left half space. So it was really crucial for moving us forward, to getting us into attacking possibilities if he skips past the man, etc. I'd also like to talk about the Muller-Choupo-Moting partnership. So you see here, Muller, Choupo-Moting in the box. There are many defenders here, but Muller, Choupo-Moting are two tall players, and they're also two players good at finding the space. And this is quite somewhat similar to Muller's goal versus PSG in the 3-2 loss we had against them 2 years ago. But Musiala whips the ball in here, and Choupo-Moting gets a touch on it. Also, Muller's in the mixer there. But of course, this goal was ruled out for offside. But it shows that Muller and Choupo-Moting, they provide space for each other. And with two good target options in the box, also Goretzka sometimes hanging around, it creates lots of offensive opportunities from crosses. If there's one criticism I had of this game, it's that we didn't cross enough into the box, because the one time we did cross, we scored a goal. Yes, it was disallowed, but it was still a goal. And finally, I thought that Nagelsmann, I'll talk more about Nagelsmann in a second, but the sub of Sané was extremely smart. In this scenario, a ball's come over the top, and Sané has been able to chase it. And he's not offside, even though he's so far forward, but it's just because of his pace that he's able to create such a difference from Ramos. And it was such a smart sub bringing Sané on for Choupo-Moting, because Choupo-Moting was tired. It kept Muller on the field to conduct and organise the play. But Sané up front also, against tired legs, his pace, he was able to get into these channels, create lots of opportunities. So while Sané should have done better with the chances he did then get, I thought that he was really effective in this type of area, at least getting into this area. Yes, maybe he could have created more from the chances, but it was really smart from Nagelsmann, and it really was an effective tactic, because many times Sané got into dangerous areas in and around the box. Many times it was something like 4-on-3 scenarios, like you see here. and it was just overall smart from Sane. But finally, let's just talk about Nagelsmann. So this, as I said, was the best game of the season for Bayern Munich, I think. He got everything right. The pressing was correct. The lineup was correct. Having Thomas Muller in there to conduct the attack was correct. All of his subs were correct. Gnabry came on, and that is it. Because PSG were so open at that point, it was the right time to bring them on. Their added pace, their finishing ability worked wonders. So overall, just an excellent performance from Bayern. Nagelsmann set up the defense excellently with that three at the back, really controlling Messi and Mbappe. Stanisic was so excellent. Upamecano, De Ligt, Davies, they were all excellent. It was one of the best defensive performances I've seen from Bayern this year against such a potent attack. But thank you for watching, and it was just excellent.